While the fox's wager is tempting, it's just that, a wager. I can't go risking anything when I've already lost so much. Besides, seeing the miners out there reminds me that Nick could be very nearby. Can't just skip out on his appointment. I know that Nick looks forward to these nights. There's another reason. Just thinking about Nick reminded me about something. He'd seen me after I came out of the mine, and after today's news, I swallow hard. I feel like he'd only show up if he isn't suspicious of me. And he didn't show up in the other routes. Oh no. Right? Maybe that doesn't make sense, but I feel like that would be the case. He'd just go tell William about me otherwise. If he does show up, he usually sits in the saloon watching the hall for my signal. That's to check. And a good excuse to get away from all the busy chatter of the people around me. While the gashes and bruises might have healed for the most part, my head still throbs sometimes when too many people are talking at once. I just want a little peace. Maybe a little booze, too. I start to sidle off toward the door when the fox suddenly puts his attention right back on me. The clock is ticking. Still feeling busy. Feeling lucky, sorry. And grimace. I don't play games when I'm working. Spend your money or spend your time elsewhere. Not a gambling man after all. His brow wrinkles. Stay busy then. Guess I'll buzz off too. Wait, does this mean you're going to fit me in? I frown at the idea that the weasel had been listening in on the conversation, even if he had technically been a part of it from the beginning. Like I said, if my other client canceled, then maybe I'll be able to, but for now, I gotta go look for him. Ah, of course, my memory is rather lacking tonight, it seems. Murdoch's lip curled into a tight smile. Well, aren't you eager? Do try to make room for him, Sam. You might break his heart otherwise. I'm sorry. Oh, it's nothing. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have work to do. Good luck to you, sir. Then Murdoch is already walking away toward where I last saw William. What did he mean by that? I frown. Who can say? At that moment, Cynthia pops up next to the weasel as if she'd been waiting to have a moment with him this whole time. Oh, Jesus.
Were you able to find a bed for the night, sir?
Heavens! Oh, not quite. Sam's going to check if he has an opening for me.
I see. I wouldn't count on it. You'll need a place to stay, and luckily for you, the situation outside has left my night wide open.
Yes, well, I will certainly keep that in mind. That's all I'm able to hear as I've been making my way to the door, leaving the crowded room behind. Just before I make my exit, I see Cliff with one foot in front of the other, as if he wants to follow me, but Cynthia's talking his ear off. I thank the Lord for that mouth of hers. I bet others do, too. It gets quiet real quick, and I wonder why. Things should be bustling this time of night. Then, of course, I remember what's happening outside, that Harlan would have locked up if he knew what was good for us. Sure enough, when I make my way into the saloon, it's completely empty. Even Harlan isn't here. The bar is empty. It sounds like the mob has mostly moved away from right in front of the brothel, and I'm only occasionally able to hear a holler every now and then. I like it, though. Finally a moment not to be nagged by William or my other clients or even Cynthia. I have this reputation of being a sad loner, and while that might be true, I don't mind it at all. Nice to be alone, and in a crowding city like Echo, not enough people appreciate that. I make my way to the bar, deciding to help myself. Well, we aren't supposed to drink on work nights, but I'm under too much pressure right now, and I need something to take that pressure off. I think I'll have a drink too. Quietly, I move behind the bar, glancing at the hallway just to make sure no one's coming before I snatch a bottle of whiskey from the cabinets. Pour myself a drink into a small glass that I pluck off the bar, not really bothering to check if it's actually clean. I do feel guilty about messing around with Harlan's stock, especially after you told me about how low he is. To make myself feel less bad, I skip rummaging. Keep it neat and only in one glass. My stomach is mostly empty, so that should be good enough. I sit at the bar, staring into my drink for a moment, knowing that what I'm doing right now isn't going to help me out of this mess. It's only making it worse. As if I'm thinking, even as I'm thinking this, I take my first swig, then lean back, grimacing at the burn, extra sharp because it's rye. Here I am, making a weak attempt at getting goddamn canned when I could be making double off that prissy little Batavian weasel. Oh! Hello, Samuel. The last of my mouthful goes down completely the wrong way. The harsh but kind of pleasant sting in my throat suddenly becomes hellfire that spreads down my lungs and up into my nose. I try to cough and gasp at the same time, having no choice but to dribble and snort into my glass so I don't make a mess. Oh dear, Samuel, are you alright? The weasel pats uselessly at my back until I push him away, trying to wipe my mouth and nose without him seeing. Christ, were you trying to sneak up on me? I managed to get that out before a twinge in my throat sends me into another coughing fit. No, I walked towards you very openly. You seem distracted by your drink. I finally catch my breath, though every time I suck in some air, my raw throat threatens another fit. I slouch in my seat, looking dejectedly at the rest of my drink, looking mighty putrid with my spitting. Ew! Maybe consider just drinking the ew! Looking around my feet, I find one of the spittoons and dump the rest of the whiskey in it. I'm sorry, would you like me to buy you another? I wipe my face one last time, shaking my head. We're closed, so we ain't got a bartender. Oh, well, would you like me to make you a drink? Where's the row? You know how? No, but I can always try. Don't bother. I sighed deeply, rubbing my face with my paws, feeling much more awake after nearly being murdered by my own whiskey. It seems I'm causing trouble wherever I go. I sniff loudly, waving a paw. It's fine, I shouldn't be drinking anyway. Yes, I was surprised to find you this way. I imagine alcohol would have a negative effect on your job performance. I leaned forward, propping my elbows up on the bar and resting my head in my paws. Maybe I shouldn't have kissed this guy. But I did come looking for you to see if you'd found your client. I suppose you have not seen him? I think for a moment, remembering that I'm supposed to be looking for Nick. But after seeing the deserted saloon, I had just taken the opportunity to get away from everyone. Again, we're closed. Well, if that is the situation. Close my eyes, taking a deep breath, knowing what's about to be asked, and knowing that I'm going to accept. I need to be working. Do you think that you'll be able to fit me in? Cliff cuts himself off, looking toward the back of the saloon. I do the same, knowing that the back door is only used by us brothel workers and a few familiar customers. I can tell by the sounds they're making that they're big. For a moment I worry that maybe the unrest outside is about to spill into the brothel, but then whoever it is pokes their head slowly around the corner. Is it Nick? It's Nick! Looking all worried and shit. Nick looks like he's about to say something to me, then he spots Cliff. Cliff actually jumps, taking a step back. Oh! It's quiet for a few seconds, and then the badger straightens up, trying to look like he wasn't just sneaking around. Hello! I smile without meaning to, like I usually do when I see Nick. Howdy, Nick. Cliff seems to recover, the insides of his ears turning red. Oh, hello there. Samuel, I thought you said you were closed. We are. But it looks like Harlan forgot to lock the back. Sorry, should I be leaving? I'm not sure if all the saloon was closed. Now Nick's ears are turning red. Well, isn't it clearly closed? And the weasel's face lights up. Oh, might you be looking for a madam of the night? What? I close my eyes in frustration. Nick is a private man, even more so than other men like us.
I mean, services that satiate more carnal desires.
Nick is quiet, and I start to open my mouth to tell the weasel to scram back to the powder room, but he's already talking again.
A prostitute!
God. Another awkward silence. Another awkward second of silence before Nick finally decides on how he should react to that. What? Definitely not. Why would you assume that of me?
Oh, I meant no harm. I simply assumed based on the situation.
Cliff takes another step back, moving behind me. I finally step in. Hey, it's okay. Nick doesn't involve himself in that debauchery. He only comes here to drink. You see the badger slowly relax as I wink at him. Yeah.
My apologies. I shouldn't have assumed.
Nick doesn't say anything in response, and Cliff just squirms around in place. Cliff, maybe you should go see Cynthia. She's waiting for you.
I suppose.
The weasel doesn't move, and just as I'm about to ask him to leave in a not-so-nice way, Nick starts walking towards us. Is this a friend of yours, Samuel? Cliff stiffens again as the badger approaches, and I remember just how big Nick might look to someone new. Especially someone like Cliff. Yeah, this is Clifford. I'm Nick.
Nice to meet you. If you don't mind me asking, are you from around here? Your slight accent tells me you might be from outside the country.
Seeing Nick bristle a little, probably because he's not used to someone prying into his life. I also didn't know he had an accent. No one really does that around here. Or maybe he's just offended by having his accent pointed out. He's practiced not sounding foreign for a long time. He barely has an accent now. Actually, he talks better than most around here. I'm from Lakia, but I've lived in this country since I was a young man. You don't sound native either, by the way.
Well, none of us really are we? But you are correct. I am Batavian.
It's quiet as Cliff waits for Nick's reaction. Finally, the badger only gives him a deep in response. Try to think of something to say. Aren't you guys from, like, the same place? Same place?
Surely you heard of us name two separate countries just now.
I frown as they both stare at me. I mean, from the same area. Try to think of a goddamn name of a place I probably haven't said since school, which was a while ago. Now I'm the one turning red as they both stare at me like I'm stupid or something. Europa? Oh, no, shit.
Europa?
Yeah. So? Don't you have stuff in common? Stuff to talk about? No.
Our countries have no relations whatsoever, especially with the state of the continent right now. This would be similar to saying that you and Sir Ronan have much in common. We don't even speak the same language.
Now I'm just getting annoyed realizing how foolish Cliff must think I am right now. Well, we use pesos around here sometimes. Even Nick looks like he's laughing at me, and I've decided I've had enough. I think you should quit keeping Cynthia waiting.
I thought we were going to
go. I keep myself from raising my voice, but I give him a look like I really mean it, and he seems to take the hint, like he's finally realizing that this is my customer.
Oh, I'll take my leave then. Pleasure meeting you, Nick.
I feel a little satisfied now that he's the one feeling stupid. The weasel scurries off back to the hallway, and I wonder if he's actually going to see Cynthia. He seems odd company for someone like you. I barely know him. Does he know your work? Yeah? He does.
Nick, even if he knows you're my customer, he's not gonna tell. He wants to be my client, too.
Oh. For the first time since he got here, I see the badger relax completely. I do not like that he assumed what I was here for. Yeah, I don't think he thinks about what he's saying. Already got roughed up for talking too much. I stand up and Nick follows me, taking the familiar path to my room. You should be careful. Nick lowers his voice as we move into the hall, aware of the muffled talking and laughing behind the doors. Such talk can get you killed around here. Once we're in my room, we're both able to drop our guard. Nick doesn't hesitate to hold me when I lean forward to rest my head against his chest. Are you alright, Sam? I'm tired. I am as well. I slide my paws up and down Nick's broad back, still impressed with his size, even after a year of knowing him. You're late. Yes, I'm sorry. The union organized a demonstration, and I had to go with them to show my support. I pause, thinking. Then I start to feel a little uneasy, because I remember why I'd wanted to see if Nick was here in the first place. I saw it. Heard it too. Was someone shooting? Yeah, it was only to warn. It gave me a chance to leave, though. Glad you did. Been hurting to see you. I tried to change the subject only because I'm worried that Nick really has put it all together. Nick huffs into my head fur and I squeeze him against me, and at the same time he starts to rub my back, then lower towards my tail. We were worried after what they found, of course. Makes sense. Old town is. Start to slide my paws up Nick's sides, pushing up his shirt, just wanting to distract him at this point. You're moving fast. Too fast? It's fine. It's just unusual. Like I said, I've been missing you. I stopped trying to take off Nick's shirt because he's not lifting his arms to help me. I settled for letting my paws rest under his shirt, against his broad sides, feeling him breathe. For a moment, I'm worried that Nick's going to bring up the demonstration thing again, but he surprises me. Did I interrupt an appointment? I frown at the badger, confused. Then I realize what he's talking about. Oh, Cliff. No, he didn't book me. I was waiting to see if you'd show up, and you did. I start to lean up and tease his mouth with a kiss, but he drops his head, sighing loudly. What? He was a paying customer, yes. Oh, yeah? I'm not going to tell Nick that he was going to pay double, because Nick pays less than half. I try to nuzzle him again, but again he turns his head. You should have taken him. This is your work, and I'm wasting your time, and there's a fully paying customer available to take it up instead. Hey, you were booked. And I was late. You need money. I shouldn't be coming here. I glare, my relief at the change of topic dissolving into just being annoyed. We've talked this over before. Hey, we figured this out a year ago. I'm not booked up every single night. Madame Dora said it was fine to have a lower paying customer fill the gaps. Nick keeps frowning. This is part of the business. No guilt needed. So you don't go moping all night. That weasel was going to book me later anyway. Nick didn't say anything, which is something he does a lot. Besides, you make up the difference in company. I want to see you. There's more I can say for most of my clients. No. Nick smiles at hearing that, even though he's trying real hard not to. I don't know why. No one else wants to see me. That's only because you're big and they don't know you're nice. And that's because you never talk to anyone. Nick rumbles out a deep badger growl, the kind that rumbles in my own chest. Hey, I'm just as mean as the other men. They know that they will lose teeth if they talk to me. Oh, this fucking Harold Grifter-ass voice is wrecking me. Even though he's kidding, I kind of like hearing him talk like that, so I lean in to kiss him on the mouth. This time he lets me. Like always, he leans down a bit so I don't have to stand on my toes. This is a fucking it's another fucking sex scene. Alright, because they all start with one, so yeah, I'll see you on the other side. Nick takes a deep breath. Sam. Pauses again, and I can feel the familiar ball of stress and despair flare up in the back of my stomach. What?
Sam, there's something I wanted to ask you.
I wait, and while I usually don't mind his silent responses, this is getting me more worried.
You remember when you were beaten near the mine, yeah?
Shit. I've been beaten a few times, Nick. Keep my voice steady, rubbing harder, making Nick grunt.
I was wondering.
Nick freezes, voice catching in his throat as I give his, I'll give up rubbing his belly and go straight for the dick. Okay. Alright, so he deflected the conversation, gave him a good old handy. They talked a little bit about Nick not wanting to stay at the bunkhouse with all the other guys, but you stay there until you either make it rich or you give up. But now he seems that he's trying to get back to the topic at hand. So he says, "I'm doing this though." He sighs again.
Sam.
Fuck. I keep myself steady, focusing on rubbing in the rosemary. Yes.
I don't want to ask this.
Fuck. Don't. Most things are best left unsaid. Nick waits patiently for me to finish and speaks again.
But did you know Jack? Oh, fuck.
Well, here's what you get, brother. My stomach drops. Even though I knew this was going to happen, no matter how much I tried to fool myself. Jack? Are you going for full ignorance? I tilted my head. Huh? At the same time, I start to think hard. I'd be able to overpower any of my clients, knocking them out, even kill them if I had to. Probably not William, but definitely not Nick. I'd only be able to run.
'Cause Jack bunked with us, and he didn't do a very good job of hiding his preferences. He once said that he did not know mountain lions could have white fur.
I numbly realized that my paws have stopped moving. They just rest there on Nick's chest.
Well, when he didn't show up for work, we all assumed he got tired of the job, but he has been found. And now we know what happened, mostly.
Huh. I can't put words together in my head.
Sam, do you know what might have happened?
I open my mouth, but I can't speak, even though I try to say something to pretend that I don't know shit when nothing comes out. I have to settle for a weak shrug. Ooh, bad move. Nick sighs deeply, his chest rising against my paws, and it's only then when I realize his own massive paws are holding my wrists. Gripping my wrists. Starting to breathe hard.
Sam, I know you were involved somehow. You walked from the mines with a busted head, a beaten face, the very same day Jack disappeared.
I start to pull away from the badger, but he doesn't let go. Let me go. My voice is dead. But Nick doesn't let go. He only holds on tighter, and when I try to lean back to kick against the bed to give me leverage, he leans up and I'm instantly pinned by his strength.
Listen to me. I know, Sam. I can see it in your face. For when you need to listen to me, but you need to listen to me before you do anything else, because your life depends on it.
I stare like an idiot at the badger, wondering how things changed so quick. Apparently I'm bad at lying, even though I had thought I'd been keeping up a pretty good ruse this entire time. With one question, Nick crushed any resistance I had with the simple, obvious truth that he would have known the second they found Jack. I didn't even put up a fight. I didn't even try to avoid the badger when I knew he would suspect something. Not suspect, because he knows that I killed Jack. I give up. I lay there and just wait. Wait for whatever Nick has in store for me. And when the badger sees this, he eases up on the pressure, pulling back a little and loosening his hold. I think about fighting back then, kicking him right where I'd been so happy to please him before. Then bite his throat out, then bite his throat out like I should have when I was kissing it.
Sam, you need to tell me exactly what happened.
I swallow hard. It feels almost impossible through my dry throat. You tell, William.
No. That will depend on what you tell me.
Somehow I smile, even though I don't feel like smiling at all. Why do you care what I gotta say about it? I expect the badger to be angry, and I kind of want him to be. But then he'd beat me, choke me until I'm... Maybe he'd beat me and choke me until I'm dead, better than what I'd face when the town finds out. I feel like my insides turn to water as I think about what's ahead for me. But Nick's face turns sad, and he looks deep into my eyes until I have to look away.
Because you're a dear friend of mine, and I know you, and I knew Jack.
I look back at Nick, and I've never seen him look so damn sad and honest before.
I know that you would only do such a thing if there was a good reason. But I know someone like Jack could give that reason. So please, tell me the truth, and I will decide from there.
We stare at each other for a long time, I think. I try to, at least, because I feel so damn confused. Why did Nick let me touch him like that before he asked this? Doesn't make sense. I give up finally, going slack on the bed.
I want to help you.
Liar. Fucking liars. Trusting people is what caused all this in the first place, but Nick is different from the most others here. He's not like Jack at all. I know that, and I want to believe him, but I can't. Well, I can't trust him. I can at least try to tell him the truth before I get killed. That would be worth something, wouldn't it? Probably not. I'm stuck in the deepest rut of my life, one that I'll never get out of unless Nick is telling the truth. So I tell the truth. About how I met Jack, about how I fell in love, about the promise of a new life and the goal of the fight. By the end, tears are leaking out of the corners of my eyes, even though my voice is steady and emotionless. I finished the story at the point where Nick saw me stumbling away from the mine. I let go of my paws halfway through the story, but I just let them lay at my sides limp. Nick keeps studying me, so I look back at him. Well, could he at least do me a favor and kill me before you turn me in?
What?
Are you gonna turn me in or not? I glare at him. He stares back as if thinking, then...
No.
What do you mean, no?
I mean that I will not turn you in. I believe you.
I'm still numb from what happened, so I just go on laying there, staring back at Nick. I don't move until Nick leans over me, and I'm again ready to kick. But then he pulls me up into a hug. I lean forward against him, my legs pushed to the side by one of his giant thighs.
I'm sorry. I needed to know. I knew you had a good reason. Especially now that I know he was the one to hurt you. But I needed you to tell me.
Nick lets me go gently, and I sit there next to him on the bed, not daring to believe him.
Oh, food is a thing. Food is a thing. Food is a thing. I'm gonna finish this thing.
But if he really is not gonna rat me out, I might have a chance. It would be better than having to make a run for it. As if he read my mind just then, Nick takes another deep breath.
I know you might not trust me now, But hear this. I know you're telling the truth because Jack attempted the same trick with one of the other miners. A tiger named Yao. He's a good, trustworthy man. He told me that Jack said he found bags of gold in the mine and needed help hauling them out. He told Yao that they would sneak the gold out without handing over the owner's share.
I wipe my eyes quickly. Still not trusting, but kind of hopeful. I still feel like I've been beaten up all over again. My head throbbing with every heartbeat. Did Yao have money?
No, but Yao had some some valuable possessions he keeps in the bunkhouse safe. Jack told him to bring those so they could make a quick escape.
Wow. Now I know I'm stupid, because that sounds like the dumbest fucking scam I've ever heard.
Well, you were certainly far too hasty. And I wish you would have said something about this to me.
I laugh in a way that sounds kind of crazy to me. Well, yeah, that would have stopped all this from happening in the first place.
Not just about Jack, but about you leaving. I prefer to say goodbye to my friends.
I let out a long, shuddered breath, suddenly exhausted. I'll make sure to let you know the next time I skip town.
You're not gonna run away tonight?
You think I should?
No. I think you should do it later to avoid suspicion. I'm the only person who saw you coming from the mines. The only evidence of you being there was the money and, well, your money and your wounds. The money doesn't matter. You made up a believable story about the wounds, and though I could draw some suspicion, it is not proof. It could draw some suspicion.
I shrug. Doesn't matter if the town decides I'm guilty.
Most don't know you, and William's on your side, isn't he?
I smile in a beaten sort of way. I don't know. I really don't. I think he'd hang me if he knew.
Not if he knows the truth.
Give Nick a hard look. I'm not telling William.
I know. It's best not to right now, but I want to help you. We can make plans to keep you safe. Even leave Echo eventually, if that's what you want.
It's not hard to come up with the answer. I'd want to leave.
Of course. I think we should start with getting the money back. No one mentioned finding coins.
I hadn't even considered going back for my money. Why would I after what I went through? But I left out those parts. The parts where the devil himself came after me. I don't know if I want to make myself go back in there, but I nod anyway because I don't want to explain something I can't.
Alright, you should sleep for now. Would you like me to spend the night?
Yeah. I say it automatically before I can even speak. Maybe it's so I can keep an eye on him, or maybe it's because I want to believe I can trust someone. Maybe I'll run when he's asleep. Trust in the desert more than this badger to save me. Either way, Nick just smiles again, pulling me close. I come to in darkness. Complete darkness. Blackness that's so thick it feels alive. My head hurts. My forehead, it feels... I reach up and gasp as I feel a crater where it should be smooth. My head's been bashed in, but somehow I'm alive. I cradle my head gently in my paws, thinking, what happened? I can't remember anything. I can't remember who I am. I just know I'm me, and that I'm in trouble. And now I hear something moving, something sliding on the ground next to me. Hello? The slithering, sliding sound stops. I stare into the dark. Then everything crashes in on me all at once. I need help. So I start to cry, help me, please. I like how we're question marks. It's us, because we don't know who we are. I like that. That's a nice touch. I beg the thing in the darkness. The slithering sound starts up again and moves closer. But it's slower now. And then, when it's just a foot in front of me, I hear it. It doesn't speak words, I know. It makes many sounds at once, sounds I can't describe, sounds I've never heard before. I know then that this thing in front of me isn't natural. It's something that shouldn't exist. But even then, it leans forward and sharp things close around my face. I scream. I jolt awake, gasping and sitting up. I'm confused, partly because I'm still here, even though I planned to run, and also because Nick is somehow sleeping through the thundering knocks. I wait, hoping whoever it is just goes away, but this time Nick does wake up, jerking hard as he looks around.
What's that?
And the knocks sound again. Nick gasps, panicking. Ugh! He immediately rolls off the bed and then into the small space between it and the wall. Of course, he doesn't fit.
It's the sheriff. You in there, Sam?
Shit. I whisper into my breath, not ready to face William after what happened last night. I quickly get up, grabbing my underwear and pulling it on. At the same time, I motion at Nick to do the same, but he still looks panicked, even though I think William knows about him. I move toward the door, and finally Nick does get up, standing in the middle of the room. He looks about ready to jump through the window. Just sit on a dang bed or something. I whisper hastily at him, not wanting us to look suspicious right now. Instead, my usually calm and collected friend rushes to the wall, pressing himself against it before nodding. I don't know what else to do, so I crack open the door.
Sam, sorry to bother you right now, but I have a few questions. Is Nick in there? I was told he was a customer last night.
Oh, shit. Oh, that's the to be continued? Oh, fuck. Fuckity. Okay, let's save real quick and talk about this. So this is some spooky shit. This is by far the route we were closest to danger. So, well, at least the route where we're closest narratively to danger. You have to think about this. In the other ones, Nick has the same narrative threads that he has in this one, but he just hasn't talked to us about it yet. So he still knows. Whew. It is rough. Well, I'm glad to see all the different routes getting fleshed out now. So I guess we'll see where these go from here. Sounds like we're starting to ramp up here a bit. So thank you all very much for watching. On the next one, we will continue with whatever route gets updated. Unless it continues with this thing, with all of them getting updated apparently. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, I've been the trained unprofessional. You are not.